That was in 1980, September the 29th, 1980. In fact, I was at the general office when Mel Stokey walked in, and we thought that we were going to build a new smelter in Anaconda. And he said, fellas, you're not going to believe it, I'm going to tell you, but he says, we're down for good. We'll never reopen again. So I called up the gate and I told them to lower the flag to half staff. They did better than that. They turned it upside down, which is a sign of distress.
When the Washoe smelter in Anaconda shut down for good, a full century had passed since copper baron Marcus Daly bought this valley for $15,000, and in 1883 built his first smelter at Anaconda. Daly had been shipping his high-grade copper ore as far away as Swansea, Wales to be processed. This smelter was closer, just 30 miles from his mines in Butte, on a site that would become known as the Works.
There were 3 smelters here in Anaconda. The upper works, where we are right now, the lower works, which is the back 9, and the Washoe smelter. You can still see the stack right across the valley. That stack is 585.5 feet tall. You could put the Washington Monument right inside of it.
That's right, the back 9 of what might be the most innovative example of an enlightened approach to environmental restoration. The Jack Nicklaus designed Old Works Golf Course at Anaconda, Montana. Just 3 years after the Washoe smelter was forced to close by the declining price of copper, the Environmental Protection Agency declared this site, as well as many others in Montana, a Superfund cleanup area.
Many people felt it gave it a stigma that people wouldn't want to come here, that it was a hazardous waste site, and we had, of course, the big drop in employment in that, and that it was eventually going to be a ghost town.
The Atlantic Richfield Company, ARCO, who had purchased the properties from the Anaconda Copper Company, became named a responsible party for the cleanup of industrial wastes left here nearly 100 years ago. Now, it was up to ARCO, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the community itself to set to work restoring the land and returning it to the people of the area. Sandy Stash is ARCO's facilities manager for Montana.
It's an amazing story. 8,000 people take on a multinational oil company and the Department of Justice and get it done. This community is amazing and deserve an incredible amount of credit for making this happen. For the first time, we've been able to take something that was entirely a negative, something that was costing too much money, taking too much time, and turn it into something positive for the community.
Well, the land is pretty much the same way as you see it. The slag piles you can still see, and that was the original, right where it was originally. And you can see ruins of brick and so forth from the various buildings. And of course, this was on the road to the dump, the main dump. So you'd find old refrigerators and old car bodies. You'd find almost anything over here. A lot of fellas used to come over here and sight in their guns for hunting season. It was a mess, is what it was.
They would probably never return it to its pristine state, and I'm not sure that's what we wanted, but we did want it put back into some productive use, and I said, why don't you make a golf course out of it?
Cheryl Beatty recalls that the concept of building a golf course on what amounted to a community eyesore was greeted with a fair degree of skepticism.
We wanted a project that was viable, land reuse, and something that we could use to make economic development happen in addition to the land reuse. So we had to convince that it was a viable project, that we protected the environment by doing so, and that we could move the project forward and protect it in perpetuity.
It was almost kind of funny in the beginning because this community was able to get 200 people to a public meeting when it was needed to get the right answer from EPA.
6 months of very intense negotiations, 3 and 4 times a week, that we worked with ARCO, EPA, the State Environmental Protection Agency, to make sure that we had a viable project, that everybody understood what we were doing, and that we had it all in writing so everybody was comfortable.
I think we interviewed 7 of the top 10 golf course designers in the country and chose Jack Nicklaus to design the course. We don't want just any old course, we want a world-class course.
The ground is broken.
The Nicklaus design team set to work creating a course layout that has been described in Golf Journal magazine as world-class, with 18 fascinating holes, an excellent practice facility, and resident-friendly.
It's doing very well.
We're trying to take what was here. And I think there's some things here that have been part of Anaconda for a long time. And we'll keep some of those to remind you of the past and look at the future. And I think that it would be a shame to take those things and make them disappear. Well, you have, yeah. So you have done a few courses? Yeah.
Chip Rowe was hired to shape the course according to Nicklaus specifications.
I can't believe they're building a golf course out here because you couldn't even hardly walk across it. There was garbage and pieces and little of everything out there. And if they could fix this up, it'd be something.
Your shapers work, that they do it our way rather than somebody else's way.
It was quite a project ahead of it.
Well, we're going to work with you then. We're going to
I know how that goes.
We're going to get into your head. Yeah. This is the guy's head I got to get into. This is our shaper.
Then working with Nicklaus, that made you a little nervous too, because you had to be good at what you do, because there was no beating around the bush with him. He was demanding. There was no negotiating.
One of the major challenges of this job would be providing water and nutrients to the playing areas of the course, while not wasting water nor flushing nutrient compounds into Warm Springs Creek, which flows through the old works. The plan called for a unique irrigation system. Water from sprinklers, rainfall, and runoff filters down through the growing surface where it collects in a perforated underground pipeline. The tee boxes, greens, and sand traps all drain into storage lagoons. The cap of clay and limestone blocks further penetration of water into underlying subsoils. From the storage lagoons, water is pumped to the irrigation sprinklers. And the cycle continues. At Anaconda, Jack Nicklaus discovered sland, the black sand-like slag left behind by the furnaces. Nicklaus wanted to use it in the sand traps at the old works.
How about that?
At nearby Deer Lodge, a test bunker was built into the golf course there
We don't want
for the ultimate
people having
test.
buried lives if we can avoid it. So, of course, we don't want balls burying in the bunkers. See, the balls rolled back in the bunker. Watch out, watch yourself there. And if you can get a decent line, if you're going to take and pick the shot off of it, in other words, where you're not going to try to hit the sand, you're just hitting the shot that's going to, well, I'd say it's absolutely perfect. After you play this golf course, I think your golf game will improve. The only trouble is you're probably going to have to figure out a way to play white sand after this. Anyway, this situation here is going to be a lot of people coming into the game learning to play the game. So I try to design a golf course that is very user-friendly for those people. And I think that the objective here is to bring people into the game, not to scare them away from the game. Man, that's enough room for a backswing here, son. Okay. What club would you play? What club?
Pitching wedge.
Pitching wedge. Why pitching wedge?
I don't know. Left.
What?
Left.
It's going to do what? Hit it left or it's going to break left?
Break left.
You sure? Are you really? No, that's a gimme. Never missed the last play. Down the hill, into the wind. Oh, what, 7-iron? That was you, son. You know, we started with this project, oh gosh, I don't know, was this 5 years ago, 6 years ago? We had an opportunity out here to either do something with the land or not do something with the land. And that's all I want. Just give me the worst site and we'll make something out of it. Because you could take land and do something out of it if you've got a little bit of imagination. And I've got a great group of guys that work with me. So anyway, we got in here and we got to it and started working. And I think it turned out, I mean, I'm delighted. I hope you will.
The Old Works, over 7,400 yards of pure Nicklaus design, a par 72 with rich history lessons at every tee box. What more could you ask than a warm Montana summer afternoon, the Nicklaus penchant for excellence, and the recollections at every hole of the history of the Old Works and the wonderful tenacity of the people who live and work here.
It's so beautiful, I can't believe it. Jack and I just took a ride around in the golf cart and looked at the thing, and you can't believe the improvement it's made in this whole vicinity.
I'm telling you, for an artist, it's a paradise because of the things that I could do out here as an artist. The different subject matter that I see out there right now is just fantastic. I can hardly wait to get to the easel. And I remember the old tailings. It wasn't too much to look at as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
It's kind of ugly, wasn't it, Dennis?
Yeah, did you ever bring a girl out here?
Yeah, Tootsie McGregor and I went for a walk up there one time, and I came home by myself. She got mad.
I don't think a girl would want to be out here in them days. Maybe today they would, wouldn't they?
This project, probably more than anything else, speaks to the resilience of this community. This community went through one of the toughest shutdowns when the smelter was shut down. It was literally a company and an industry that had been here for generations. I think what this project says is this community was not going to let that get them down, or being named a Superfund get them down. They've done something that no other Superfund site in the country has done, and that's actually reuse a site and put it back into economic development. This project would have never become a reality if the people of Anaconda hadn't been the people of Anaconda.
And I think it's marvelous that they've captured the flavor of the old works, the ruins of the old works, and the integrity of an era gone by, and built a beautiful golf course around it, marrying the gabardine-clad golf players of today to the old Marcus Daly type of yesterday, if you will.